Can you tell us a little bit about what's on your mind as far as the association goes?
Sure. Well, for one thing, I think it is wonderful that we've come together across the plant breeding community in the U.S. I had the privilege of providing a keynote address to the Mexican Counterpart Society, which had 600 or 700 attendees last September in Monterey. It was a fantastic gathering. And so I'm excited that we're following in their footsteps here in the U.S., collecting those of us that are involved with genetic improvement in plants in different settings and across crops. Because historically, of course, we've been divided into different societies by species, and I think that's really tended to obscure the commonalities, and also now we can exert more influence on issues that really matter for our profession, whether it's support of training for those who will come behind us, or germplasm issues, or facilitating management of intellectual property across public-private boundaries. Whatever it is, many of these issues are shared widely across plant breeders. And of course, it's fantastic for the students to have an opportunity to come together across universities, across species, across subjects, and build that community of the future.
Absolutely, absolutely. When you step back and look at your successes, your colleagues' successes, what do you think the next big step that plant breeders are going to be making? What direction are we going to be headed in?
Well, I'll talk a little bit about that tonight. I think that we have reached a number of critical junctures in agriculture, and in a sense it's a reflection of things many of us in agriculture already knew, which is agriculture is literally our lifeline, but where prices get high and civil instability results, others in our government and elsewhere around the world have come to understand that a safe and secure food supply is not only important in terms of what we have to eat, but it's important in terms of how our governments work and whether our future, this century will be a peaceful one. So I'm going to talk about the fact that our agricultural systems in many places on Earth are under great stress, and some of the approaches we've used in the 20th century have very likely peaked in terms of the difference they'll make going forward. And so I think it's a very exciting time for plant breeding, because we will be forced to work with more complex systems. We'll be forced, I think, to work with a broader array of species, not just crop species, but other plant species that are important in agricultural systems. And I think the century of soil is upon us. And so I'm very excited to see the focus on soils that, those of us in plant breeding have always understood that to be foundational, but now, for example, I do work with food companies interested in sustainable agriculture, and over and over and over, they're recognizing how critically important soil is, and I think we can do more from a plant breeder's point of view with underground, and with what plants do underground, and how underground systems work to promote crop health.